Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Dear students, today we'll do a third session on the dynamic link libraries. And in this lab demo, you will see how you can create the dynamic link libraries. Although we have covered its definition in the first session we did a week ago, Intro to DLL, and then last week जो हमारा live interactive session था उसमें आपने देखा कि हमने इसको डिटेल के साथ MSTN से भी डिस्कस किया, किताब से भी, और इसका प्रोसीजर जो है वो रियल स्टूडियो पर देखा था। तो उसी को कंटिन्यू करते हैं। सो लेट मी शेयर द बुक विद यू फर्स्ट। सो as you can see, it's in part 3, chapter 21, and we have discussed its definition, its types of the dynamic link libraries, in what extension it is saved, what are the native DLLs that is programmed as part of the Windows kernel, and what are the non-native DLLs. We have discussed that in length in the last 2 sessions on dynamic link libraries. Okay, and we also saw in last interactive session the header file which we have to write in the native dynamic link library, the pragmas we will use in this, and the function prototypes with the callback convention, and all functions are exported, and they are exported with 2 postfix. One time it is capital A, and the second time it is capital W. And I have told you that capital A is used for ASCII NED, and the capital W is used for the Unicode. And you guys know that Windows natively supports only 2 encoding definitions. One is ASCII and the other is Unicode. And we also saw that after Windows 9X, it was the ASCII that was the native code, and to convert it to Unicode definition, you have to write a pragma. But after Windows 2000, the Unicode is the standard version which is used for as an NED, and we can convert it. However, ASCII and Unicode are by default the supported encoding definitions in the Microsoft Windows operating system. So we have to write the postfix A or postfix W with it. So we discussed these pragmas in detail. We're not going to discuss them again in the last interactive section of the class. So, and we have discussed at length what is DLL main and the 3 arguments in it, and you can also see that from the MSDN or in the book. The first one is the instance ID of the DLL process. The second one is the reason for calling the DLL. There are 4 reasons by which you may call the dynamic link library, and the third is the null pointer. That is system reserved. However, with explicit coding, we may access the value of it as mentioned in the MSDN. So same like we studied H previous instance. Okay, the function definition will come twice, one with A postfix and other with W postfix, and we discussed that as well. And you guys know that there is no exe file generated when you compile and link the DLL project. Only a dynamic link library is created either with the DLL extension or otherwise. If it's the previous case with the DLL extension, I hope students you remember that it will be loaded implicitly. But if you have saved it with some other extension, then you have to load it explicitly with the load library function. Okay, then we saw that we need another process in the same workspace that will be calling the native dynamic link library for its usage. So you saw in the example in the last week live interactive session as well that We may call EDR test.c. We may program it, and this process will use the dynamic link library created in the previous project. So two processes will be working simultaneously in the same workspace. So, okay. So there was a network issue uh, due to which we saw a little bit jitters. Okay, so we were talking that there are two processes in the same workspace, two concurrent processes. One is the dynamic link library, and the other is the exe, that process which will be using that DLL. Both processes have their PIDs, I mean edge instance, and now we go to the Visual Studio to see what procedure we'll follow to create it. Okay, here you can see that you have to create a new workspace. Now you'll see the effectiveness of workspace. So we just select the root directory, or maybe uh, we select ODL folder string, and we write the name of the workspace. So we write it test DLL, and we are creating a blank workspace, as you can see. So we clicked OK, and after now we are going to make a new project. So first we'll create the Win32 dynamic link library project. Now you should be careful. You have to check the add to current workspace, and then you may give the project name as you're going to code the book example. So we'll write the name in the book, that is edrlib.cpp. So we are going to write edrlib.cpp. Okay, you have to select Win32 dynamic link library, add to current workspace, and you'll give the name. Okay. Okay, sorry, we are not going to give the extension of the CPP here because it's a project. So now it is created an empty DLL project. Okay, and now we are going to add source file in it, new C++ source file, add to current project. File name is edrlib.cpp, C++ source file, add to project, and it's okay. Now you have to check that active project selected is edrlib. At this time, there is only one project in the workspace, so you may ignore the active project tab. Now we need to add a header file, so we click new C++ header file, edrlib.h. So we created a C++ header file. Now in file view, you can see these. So we go to the book, we copy the contents of edrlib.h, we came back to Visual Studio, pasted this file, then we go to the CPP. Now you can write your CPP code. Okay. And you're writing the CPP code. There is one mistake in the source code of the book. So now you have to compile it. So there is some syntax error. Okay. So hopefully now it is resolved. So zero error, zero warning. So it is linked, and now we'll see that a DLL file will be created in the directory we chose for this. Now let me share with you the directory in which we have created this workspace. We go to test.dll. Now you can see that here it is. The edrlib.dll is created. There is no exe file in it, okay, and these are the cpp and header files. Now we'll create the second project file. Now I should again share Visual Studio with you guys. There is no option of Visual Studio. Okay, now as you can see, Visual Studio. So we will go to File, we will select New, and from New we are going to the Select Projects tab, and this time we are going to select Win32 application, add to current workspace, dependency of edrlib, and we will check the name of the project in the book, that is edrtest.c. So we will select edrtest as the project name. Now we are going to do another tweak which is written in the book so that we don't have to explicitly copy the header file. We are going to change the path of this new project same as the previous project. Okay, so that was test.dll Win32 application. As you can see that the source file is in edrlib. So we are going to select here edrlib. Now the folder for the library and for execution process is the same. So we have selected the same folder, add to current workspace, dependency of, and now we are going to check, okay, an empty project. And here the second process is that. Now you must make sure the active project is the edrtest. Now we're going to add the new source file, which will be edrtest.cpp. So here we go, and we click C++ header file, edr. I think there was no header file in this edrtest. We have used the same header file. Now I would like to show you that. Let me share with you the my computer view where we have created this project. Now as you can see, we have selected the same path for the edrtest project which we used for edrlib. Now the edrtest.cpp, edrlib.cpp, and edrlib.h are in the same directory. This tweak is written in the book as well, in which we don't have to explicitly copy this project files. As well as now the exe file will be created into this debug folder as well, where already we have saved the edrlib.dll by default. Now let's copy the contents of edrtest. So we pasted it here, and let's edrtest.cpp. Now you see there is no header file error, and I will click rebuild all. Okay, one external symbol is coming. Okay, that is sometimes security error comes into it. So we will solve the dependencies now. Let's go to project dependencies. So edr, you see here project dependency is selected in reverse order by default. So we have to make it correct. Lib do not depend on edrtest. edrtest process depend on edrlib. We go to edrtest, it depends on edrlib. Now we click rebuild all. Everything is clear. Okay. Now it can't find DLL as I've told you the known errors. So we will copy the, I'm going to share with you the directory in which we have saved our project. So we go here. Now you see there is one debug folder and one EDR test Win32 debug folder. So we went here and copy this file, paste it into EDR test. And now when you will run this either from here or let us go back to Visual Studio. Now when we'll run it from Visual Studio, it will run flawlessly. Here you can see. So this was a short demo which covers the topic how to create concurrent processes for programming native dynamic link libraries as extension to the Windows operating system kernel. The method used in Visual Studio 6 is covered in this demonstration, and all other details were covered in last two sessions. In first session, we covered the definition of the dynamic link library, which is in production, and in the interactive session, we covered uh, the DLL program entry point, the header file which we use, the types of DLLs, how these are saved, implicit and explicit loading of the DLL, and the assignment which I gave you to write 10 programs of your own using DLLs. So in assignment, you have to program the interrupts, keyboard and mouse, and you have to program the timer used for multitasking. And you may also use the GDI text matrix programs, any programs you like, or your own text outs or on logic. You may apply that as well. But you have to execute functions using the dynamic link libraries. So good luck, students. I'm going to end the meeting, and inshallah see you soon in the next interactive session.